The concept that the devil wants to keep Christians poor is rooted in the understanding that Satan's primary goal is to thwart God's plan for humanity. According to biblical teachings, God desires for his children to live an abundant life, which encompasses not only spiritual prosperity but also physical and financial well-being. The enemy, however, seeks to undermine this plan by keeping Christians in a state of poverty, thereby limiting their ability to fulfill their divine purpose. One reason the devil wants to keep Christians poor is to minimize their impact on the world. When Christians are financially strained, they are less likely to be generous and support missionary work, charitable causes, and other kingdom-building endeavors. The Bible teaches that giving is a fundamental aspect of the Christian faith, and that those who give generously will be blessed in return. By keeping Christians in poverty, the devil can reduce their capacity to give, thereby hindering the advancement of the gospel and the spread of God's love. Another reason the devil wants to keep Christians poor is to distract them from their spiritual pursuits. When individuals are struggling to make ends meet, their focus tends to shift from spiritual matters to temporal concerns. The enemy knows that a Christian who's preoccupied with financial worries is less likely to prioritize prayer, Bible study, and other spiritual disciplines. By keeping Christians in a state of financial insecurity, the devil can divert their attention away from God and onto more worldly concerns. Furthermore, the devil wants to keep Christians poor because it can lead to a lack of faith and trust in God's provision. When Christians are struggling financially, they may begin to doubt God's ability or willingness to provide for their needs. This can lead to a crisis of faith, causing them to question God's love and care for them. The enemy delights in seeing Christians struggle with such doubts, as it can lead to a weakening of their faith and a diminished capacity to trust God. In addition, the devil wants to keep Christians poor because it can create divisions and strife within the body of Christ. When some Christians are financially well off while others are struggling, it can create an atmosphere of envy, resentment, and comparison. The enemy can use these dynamics to foster discord and disharmony among believers, thereby undermining the unity and cohesion that is essential to the advancement of God's kingdom. It is also worth noting that the devil's strategy to keep Christians poor is often subtle and insidious. He may use manipulation, deception, and half-truths to convince Christians that they are not worthy of financial blessing or that wealth is somehow unspiritual. He may also use the world system to keep Christians in bondage to debt, credit, and other forms of financial slavery. By doing so, the enemy can keep Christians in a state of financial captivity, limiting their ability to live the abundant life that God has ordained for them. In conclusion, the devil wants to keep Christians poor because it serves his purposes of minimizing their impact, distracting them from spiritual pursuits, undermining their faith, creating divisions, and limiting their ability to live the abundant life that God has ordained for them. However, Christians must remember that they are not victims of the devil's schemes, but rather victorious, overcoming believers who have the power to resist and overcome these strategies. By trusting in God's provision, living generously, and prioritizing their spiritual pursuits, Christians can break free from the devil's grasp and live the abundant life that God has ordained for them. As the Bible teaches, God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9:8.